Jim Longworth, and welcome to another edition of Triad Today. Coming up later on, our infamous roundtable gets together, and there's no telling what they're going to say, so stay tuned for the controversy. But between now and then, some great guests and information coming your way. For one thing, we'll tell you about something very important called Project Reentry. Stay tuned for that. We'll also give you some more information about cosmetic surgery, understanding more about cosmetic surgery. And we have a very special guest, a Super Bowl champ who is doing lots to help kids these days. We'll get to all that plus much more. But first, we start, speaking of kids, I think of everybody as a kid because I'm so old, but these are young adults, and they're all graduating seniors from Winston-Salem State University. I want you to meet them right now. As we call on the game show, our returning champion is Trayron Edwards, who was here before, and next to him is Asia Grant, and next to Asia is Javante Hunter, who in addition to being a graduating senior, Javante is also, you're the SGA president, right?
I am.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. Does your term end as soon as you leave?
It officially ends in June, so still have a little bit of work to do, but we're almost there.
Yeah, all right. Now, Trayron, I'm going to start with you. You came on the show last fall to talk about something called the RAM Asset Management Program, which sort of winds into what you're good at doing. Review for us very quickly what that management is.
Sure. So the RAM Asset Management Fund is essentially a student-managed investment fund. We manage about $140,000 for the university. And we invest those funds in the S&P 500 and the equities market.
And these are real funds. This is not fake dollars. These are real funds, and you all have done pretty well over the years, right?
Correct. We've outperformed our own endowment fund, so we've done pretty well.
What was it? Last figure I heard was it was like thousands and thousands of dollars profit, right?
Correct, yes.
Yeah. You need to manage my money. I'll get that straight.
We'll talk about that.
How has your experience in Winston-Salem State informed you as to what you are, who you are, and preparing you for what you want to do?
I think it really just gave me a foundation of teamwork. You know, initially I kind of had that experience while I was working independently, but having the opportunity to work with a group of my peers, kind of review my own ideas and hear some ideas from some other individuals. It really, built my ability to really understand the thoughts of other people as well.
And what career are you going into?
So once I graduate, I'll be joining an investment firm in Boston. I'm really looking forward to that.
In Boston? You're going to leave us?
Unfortunately, I have to go. Yes.
Golly, turn it into a Yankee before our eyes. All right, Asia, let me turn to you and to Javante sort of together here. I want to know the same kind of things. First with Asia, what degree will you leave the university with, and what do you plan to do with it?
Yeah, so I'm an exercise science major. So in January 2019, I'll be attending Winston-Salem State's Doctor of Physical Therapy grad program.
Wow.
So that's exciting. So I'm ready for the challenge.
So you're going to be like a PhD in physical therapy.
I am.
Wow,
yeah.
that's something. All right, now Javante, what about you? What's your story?
So I'm a business administration student. That's my major. I have a minor in marketing. Upon my graduation, I was offered a full fellowship to attend Columbia University. So I will be attending there in their School of Professional Studies for their sports management program.
Columbia University Sports
Yes,
Management. What do you want to do with sports management after that?
Sports is really just a passion that I have. So just to probably work with a professional franchise, whether that's doing some data analytics, whether that's doing arena management, personnel, I just want to work in that environment. And New York is the best opportunity for that.
That's just so cool. And let me go back with Asia and Javante for just a second. Asia, how has being at Winston-Salem State prepared you for what you want to do? Because I know you're headed down that physical therapy road and whatever. How has it prepared you?
Yeah, so I guess going back to when I came in, I was very shy and I didn't get out much on campus or anything. So I feel like Winston-Salem State University definitely pushed me to be uncomfortable, and that uncomfortability allowed me to grow in ways that I just can't imagine seeing myself if I did not come here.
Great. Well, Trayron makes me uncomfortable, but that's a whole different discussion. How do they prepare you?
It really sculpted me to understand what a leader is and what a leader does, and it really taught me the value of service and knowing that a true leader is one that can put others above himself and serve.
Well, you are 3 true leaders, I'll tell you that. Up on screen, www.wssu.edu. Chancellor Robinson is doing a great job over there, and I think the 3 of you are proof right there. That I'm really proud of what you're doing.
Thank you.
Stay in touch with us, will you? And Javante's running against President Trump today, and I want to learn more about cosmetic surgery and services and all that stuff, so I rounded up 2 experts, and they happen to be sitting right next to me. On my immediate right, Gina Rock is an esthetician for sight plastic surgery. Next to her, Angela Elliot, is a cosmetic coordinator, and we welcome both of you to Triad Today. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Jim. Thank you for having
Gina,
us.
I'm going to start with you. What is an esthetician, and did I pronounce it correctly?
Esthetician.
Yes.
An esthetician is someone who helps bring beauty back into the skin, brings the skin back to its healthy state. We work side by side with the doctors. We do the pre-care and post-care treatments, kind of helping their investments from patients who have had plastic surgery as far as facelifts, body treatments as well.
Right.
So we kind of
Before or
enhance it.
after? You can do it before or after various surgeries. In other words, you're there to really get
Yes.
things looking right.
Yes, we continue their investment. You know, when they have plastic surgery, it's actually an investment for them. You know, we wouldn't go out and buy a Mercedes or a car and not change the oil.
And take care of it.
So I'm their maintenance.
Well, I really, you're a very beautiful maintenance woman then. That's what, here's a question I want to ask. What kind of treatments, you don't have to mention all of them, but give me a couple examples.
I have a large array of treatments that we do at Foresight Plastic. I do mirror dry, cool sculpting, I do tattoo removal, peels, facials.
And tattoo removal is a big thing now, isn't
Yes, it is. It's
Because
very
why?
big.
People have made mistakes in a drunken state or something, and they have the wrong name of somebody on their arm, or...
Yeah, I've done a lot of those.
Angela,
Yes.
what advice would you give to someone who's thinking about having cosmetic surgery?
Sure, Jim. I would highly recommend anyone who's even considering plastic or cosmetic surgery start with a consultation with a board-certified plastic surgeon. That's the absolute best way to get started so they get the most accurate information.
Yeah.
At our office, patients will meet with board-certified plastic surgeons, and of course they will be given that complete medical assessment, which they might be expecting, but they're also going to truly listen to the patient, discussing their the desired outcomes and things like that. So they certainly give that personal touch.
Now, what's the most popular time of year, or is there one, where people come in for cosmetic surgery? Things that are sort of, as we used to say in the old days, elective, things I just want to have done.
Absolutely. You might expect holidays and perhaps the summertime as popular times, and they certainly are. We have our very own surgical center on site. It's called the Plastic Surgery Center in North Carolina, and it's in full operation year-round, Monday through Friday. So any day can be a popular time and a good time to have surgery.
Now,
with us.
I don't want you to do a commercial here, because that's not what we do, but I want to phrase this the right way, which is people sometimes think, well, I'd like to have this done or I'd like to have that done, but I've read on the internet that everything's expensive these days. So I guess my question to you in general, not specifically, but just in general, are there payment options available when somebody's doing cosmetic procedures?
Absolutely, and that's a great question. It certainly comes up and unfortunately hinders some people from coming in for the consultation. That's why I recommend that's how they get started. So at our office, our surgeons do meet with that patient first, but then they have the opportunity to meet with me, and I make sure that I sit down with all of our patients and I provide them options. We have options and payment plans anywhere from 6 months all the way to 6 years. So that's a great question.
Gina, let me go back to you for just a second. We're heading into summer, so what are you telling your patients about sun protection?
Oh, how important it is. You know, it's the #1 leading cause of cancer. There's 5 million people diagnosed with skin cancer yearly. So the best way is preventable, and the best way to prevent it is by using sunscreen. So it is so important to use sunscreen.
With a, what do they call it, with the different ratings on the sun lotions and whatever, up to 50 or
SPFs.
whatever, or what do you recommend? With
Anything above a 30, you know, and reapplying. That's what the important thing is, just to
Exactly.
reapply your sunscreen. You don't want to put it on and be good the whole day. If you're going to be outside for long periods of time, you definitely want to reapply that sunscreen.
My wife leaves me outside for long periods of time, but that's a different topic. Now, up on screen is forsythplasticsurgery.com is the website, 765-8620. I hope you will check that out. And ladies, both of you, I'd like for you to come back sometime and we'll just find out why you went and chose this career. It'd be interesting to me.
yes,
We'll find out
thank
about
Thank
you,
you.
Jim.
We'd love to come back.
Thank you. We'll be right back after this. On Triad Today, I'm holding a very important proclamation, and next to me is a very important guest, and let's meet him right now. Michael Thomas has been here before. He's program coordinator for something called Project Reentry. I'm going to ask you what this proclamation is all about in a second, but first, just review for us in 10 or 15 seconds what Project Reentry is.
Project Reentry is the only program of its kind in North Carolina that provides the bridge. meaning we currently work in 13 North Carolina prisons with the guys and the gals prior to release, and when they successfully complete our 16-week curriculum inside, they have earned our post-release services.
And this is all affiliated with Goodwill Industries too.
Well, Goodwill Industries of Northwest North Carolina specifically is one of our major partners because Project Reentry itself is under the Piedmont Triad Regional Council Criminal Justice umbrella.
Yeah, and we'll get to that website in a second, but I want to go back to this. I'm going to hold this proclamation back up, Michael, because I want you to tell me very quickly, and we're not going to read it, but just give me a couple highlights of what it means.
Well, initially, Governor Roy Cooper declared the last week of April as National Reentry Week. And locally, our Mayor Joines actually went on and declared April 26 as Forsyth County Reentry Day.
That's great. That's great. Now, what are some of the problems that ex-offenders face coming out of prison?
Well, for many, there could be housing. Employment is certainly an issue. Many have child support concerns, so employment is very, very important in order to fund all of the other things that I mentioned. And our getting more and more employers on board to start granting second opportunities to former offenders has been an upward challenge.
Give me a quick example of something that you might offer to help. What kind of resource or way that you can specifically help someone in that transition?
Well, part of what we do pre-release, as relates to employment, is to help participants, former offenders, understand how to present themselves to prospective employers.
Right.
Not to browbeat themselves or be down on themselves. What we've discovered is once an individual changes their attitude, they will change their approach and they will get different results.
Absolutely. How big an area is this available in? What counties would Project Reentry be able to serve if somebody's watching from around the surrounding county?
Okay, well, currently we're serving in 13 North Carolina prisons, as I mentioned, and we offer post-release services in 23 North Carolina counties.
Wow.
And a large part of that I want to mention again is due to the partnership with Goodwill Industries of Northwest North Carolina because they've helped us to expand throughout their territories.
And I think you told me off camera, Congressman Walker stopped by one of the prisons and worked with you. What was that about?
It did. That was on Friday past, and we were very excited for him to be interested in the work that we're doing. And so he joined me at Forsyth Correctional on Friday past, and what an awesome experience it was. He actually mentioned the experience in his weekly newsletter.
Good guy. What's very quickly, what's new with Project Reentry?
Well, currently, we're venturing and embarking on getting new partners to the table, such that we've developed locally Forsyth County Reentry Council. As such, we're able to serve a broader community versus just our Project Reentry graduates. Sure. So we're actually really looking to serve the former offender population as a whole.
Yeah, and you do it well. I mean, as we said, you've been on the show before. We always like when you come back because you do such good work for the community. Up on screen, two things I want to show you. PTRC.org will get you as you click through to the criminal justice and then to Project Reentry. And in general, Goodwill Industries, Northwest North Carolina, that's Goodwill Industries, NWNC.org. So please check that out, and thanks again for everything you do, Michael.
Always, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right, my friend.
Thanks for having me.
We'll be right back after this. To sit next to a Super Bowl champion, and by golly, I brought one in here. We just dragged him right off the street. Next to me, seriously, our good friend Ricky Proehl. Ricky, of course, is a former NFL star, Super Bowl champion, and co-founder with his wife Kelly of the Power Play Foundation and owner of Prolific Park in Greensboro. Welcome back, sir.
Jim, thanks for having me.
Good to see you. Let's do a little. Oh, and by the way, congratulations on your son becoming a Buffalo Bill football player.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's an exciting time. He's worked a long time. This has been his lifelong dream, and he's excited. We're excited, and we just feel like he's where he's supposed to be. It's a great place, great opportunity.
Following in Dad's footsteps. Can't get any better than that. Hey, remind our viewers what the mission of the Power Play Foundation is.
It was created back in '95. It's to just provide a platform and a place to where families that are less fortunate to create opportunities for their children and families for success.
Yeah, and you're very generous with that, and you're also great with kids, which brings me to the next thing. I want to get a plug in for Prolific Park. People have heard it all the time on the news, but tell me again, where it's, for people that don't know, where it's located, and what kind of things do you offer to all sorts of people at Prolific Park?
Well, there's a lot of wonderful things going on right now. It's located in the northwest side of Greensboro. It's off of Horsepen Creek and Jessup Road.
It's a huge facility.
It sits on roughly 23 acres. It's close to a 100,000 square foot building, but we provide after-school programs, adult fitness center.
And those after-school programs mean a lot to kids. I mean, we talk about latchkey this and latchkey that, but I mean, it really can make a difference in a kid's life.
Well, Jim, you're exactly right. I mean, we have, our foundation is run out of Prolific Park, and we provide scholarships for families in need, for that after-school program, for our summer program, for parents that have to work and need a place for children to go and get them off the streets and get them in a positive environment to where they can interact and really with other kids that they normally wouldn't. And
teach them good life skills.
Exactly, respect. And
as big as the place is on the inside, and you mentioned 23 acres, you've got playgrounds and things and fields outside, and that brings me to the big topic of today, which is that you and Kelly are now trying to raise funds for a very special playground. Tell me about it.
We're in the process of raising money, doing a capital campaign to build an all-inclusive playground.
What does that mean for folks that don't know what you mean, all-inclusive?
We are so excited. It's everyone can play. Children with that are in wheelchairs, children that may have some disadvantages or disabilities, whether it's children with Downs, children with autism. It's an interactive playground. It's wheelchair accessible. There's so many children now in our school systems that when it comes time for recess, they can't play with their friends.
Sad.
And there's so many families that have to travel hundreds of miles to find a playground where their children can play on. And we don't have one in Guilford County.
And when do you hope to get this one up and running?
We're hoping to break ground in August.
Now, I want to take some extra time on this because we have some things up on screen we want to show, but there's two big events. They're sort of together. It's a big event weekend for you. And the first thing is the Blue Jeans and Bourbon event, and these are fundraising events to help build this special playground. It's Thursday, May 31st, 6:30 p.m. at Prolific Park. Now, will there be auctions there? What am I going to see and do on the 31st?
There will be, you'll meet celebrities, you'll meet Panther players, you'll meet some of my former teammates from the Panthers, from the Rams. It's just a great event. We'll have a silent auction, we'll have a live auction. We'll have, you'll be able to interact with players and different people within your community. And it's a lot of the proceeds from this event will go towards the playground. A lot of it will go back into our community to different organizations that need our help.
Right, and then Friday, the next day, Friday, June 1st, the Ricky Proehl Celebrity Golf Classic, named appropriately for you as Ricky Proehl. But anyway, now how many years is this?
This has been, it's going on. This is our third year. We had it for 10 years and we took a hiatus. Our volunteers needed a rest, a break, and now this is going to be our fourth year.
And it's Friday, June 1st, 10 a.m., Grandover Resort. Up on screen are some things I want you to look at, prolificpark.com. You can make your way through that website to find out how you can give money. You can donate money to this project. You can find out how you can get to the big fundraising events and attend those, and even maybe do a foursome, sponsor a foursome at the golf tournament. Ricky, thanks to you and Kelly for all you do.
Thanks for all you do. Thanks for your help. Appreciate it.
We'll be right back after this. Triad Today. Before we get to the round table, I want to do a quick shout out. We lost Jimmy Kilgo at age 87. I say we, the broadcast community, folks around the Triad. If you were around the age I was in the 50s and 60s, you had rabbit ear antennas. You could pick up all the Charlotte TV stations. And from 1957 on, Jimmy Kilgo had Kilgo's Canteen. That was predated Dick Clark. And he had a bandstand show and everything. So Jimmy Kilgo, we remember him. Also, pick up your copy of Yes Weekly. I'll give a plug for that. And speaking of plugs, next to me is an author extraordinaire. Let's meet our panel right now. Carol Andrews is an author, public speaker, broadcaster, a good all-around person. From Author to Entrepreneur is the name of her book. I want you to get it. It's still available on Amazon.com. And next to her, the lovely and talented Dr. Don Martin, who is Vice Chair of the County Commissioners in Forsyth, also a professor at High Point University, and the very talented Keith Granberry, who is founder of Helping Hands Consultants, helping to get people registered to vote this year. Welcome, everybody, and let's get right to the primary aftermath We don't have to spend a lot of time on this, but we'll go down the line. Anything that surprised you about the May 8th primary? Carol Andrews.
I think it surprised me, and it surprised a lot of people. Sheriff Grice in Davidson County, upset by Richie Simmons, who longtime law enforcement guy, good guy. But I think it's just an example of how voters go to the polls and vote, and other people talk about the other stuff.
Right. Don, anything surprise you?
Well, just looking here in Forsyth County, particularly, my good friend Everett Witherspoon, I sit next to. I actually lost in the commissioner's primary, and there's no opposition in the fall. And a couple new school board members that basically there was a group of kind of newcomers all running, and two brand new folks coming on.
Keith Granberry.
Witherspoon, that shocked me. He had been in for 2 terms, and I know McDaniels, she's going to be a great county commissioner, but it still shocked me that Witherspoon
And Sheriff Robert Graves upset in the primary in Randolph
that sheriff
County.
race in Forsyth County is going to be a
It
really
is,
tough
in
race.
the general election, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody, Kathy Manning's in the congressional primary, won that on the Democratic side in the 13th district. She's raising a lot of money. Can she beat the millionaire Ted Budd in the fall? Anybody think?
Yes.
You think?
I think so. The party's going to put it's going to be a lot of money floating around in North Carolina.
Democratic Party wants that seat.
They want that
Congress.
seat.
All right, guys and gals, let's get to this first topic. Guilford County schools are closing on May 16th because teachers are marching to Raleigh to lobby for, among other things, higher wages. We're all for teachers, of course, but should the schools close? I know Winston-Salem Forsyth hasn't announced yet. Or should the teachers be docked a day's pay? I'll be particularly interested in what Dr. Martin has to say on this as a former school superintendent. We'll start with Carol Andrews.
I think that's a hard one. I wish teachers had the same agents that sports guys had, because then they'd have somebody to lobby for them. They have to lobby for themselves. So that's a hard one. Should the schools close? Who's going to be there with our children?
Don.
Yeah, well, first of all, teachers have to take a personal leave day. And so it's costing them $50 anyway. And the question kind of becomes, for a superintendent, can you get enough subs to operate if you get all these, requests coming in? And clearly, nationally, there's been quite a trend here of teachers stepping out to
Would you, if you were still superintendent, would you close the school?
Probably.
Keith.
Numbers, yes.
I think losing $50 when you're trying to create something that's going to be long-lasting is worth it. I'm sure they can get subs, but if I were a school, I would close the school.
All right. Now, this is, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this topic, but it's something that sticks in everybody's craw. Road construction always makes us late, bothers us. Should the state require all contractors to put on a 3rd shift and just work through the night to get the thing done faster like they do in some of the northern cities? Quickly, Carol.
I don't know. I don't know if that is an answer, because you got to talk about the contractors and whether they can afford it.
Well, and whether the state or the local governments can afford it to keep 3 shifts.
Keith.
I think most people do it because of the safety issues and the heat in many places, but I don't think they should.
A local woman complained about a sewer line scheduled to go through her property. The assistant city manager then retaliated, sort of, allegedly, and contacted the woman's employer to let the employer know she had complained. Should the assistant city manager be fired for trying to get the woman in trouble? Carol.
I don't think that he should be fired. I do think there should be a strong reprimand.
Don.
Well, it's a public record email, so it's not violating the law, but it's inappropriate and there should be some kind of discipline.
Keith.
I think he should be fired. You're contacting someone's employer to complain to them about something that's going through their own yard.
Right.
Are you serious right now?
Yeah, he said, well, I'm not going to get into that, but anyway. In wake of recent school shootings, some cities now want teachers to carry guns. We've covered that topic here, but Brevard County, Florida also wants to arm janitors and other staff. Quickly, are you okay with that?
I don't know. I don't know who the janitors are. The janitor might be a retired Marine.
Makes a difference, Don.
Yeah, I think the issues of retired law enforcement, retired military may be an option to get deputized.
Keith.
I think this is crazy. You want a janitor to have a gun, you want teachers to have a gun, you have thousands of students. What's going to happen?
Yeah.
It's going to be problems.
Yeah,
it's
that's
crazy.
Right. Too much gunfire. In order to attract girl members, the Boy Scouts of America now changing its name to Scouts BSA. It's kind of like when Kentucky Fried Chicken went to KFC, but you still knew what it was. Will this lame name change help recruit girls away from the Girl Scouts?
I'm a Girl Scout. Wouldn't have moved me a bit.
You would not go if
No.
you would not. No.
Had
Don.
no desire to be a Boy Scout.
Probably not. I was wondering why they didn't think of Scouts USA.
Yeah. Who knows why they're not
That'd been a
thinking. That's the
little-
problem. They're not
a little
thinking.
more
Keith.
us.
Well, you just said it. You said lame, so it's biased.
Yeah.
Well, look, Girl Scouts can be Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts can be Boy
Exactly.
Scouts.
Carol said that.
Let it be.
All right. Finally, gang. Queen Elizabeth, who is a Keith's friend, Queen Elizabeth. Queen Elizabeth, who is a billionaire, announced that she'll be giving her staff some pudding for their annual Christmas bonus. Guys and gals, if you work for a wealthy boss, would you expect more than pudding at Christmas? Carol Andrews.
I think if you know the wealthy boss, they're probably not surprised that she's doing pudding.
Okay, Don.
I kind of think everybody, if they don't like the way they're being treated, they just need to go home.
Just go to Raleigh.
Right.
All right,
There you
Keith.
go.
You're a billionaire.
Yeah.
And you're working in the Queen's mansion, and she gives you pudding.
Pudding.
Don.
Yeah.
You're county commissioner.
I
You
might
know
say-
better than that.
Yeah, I might
Keith,
say
would
that's
would you quit, Keith?
I wouldn't quit, but I
You'd miss that pudding if
I
you
would
quit.
miss the pudding.
All right,
I
well,
can
that's
tell you
all
that.
the time we have, and we still miss Ogie Overman. Get well soon, Ogie, and come back. Oh, I want to say that a couple who met this is a true story, a couple who met on a Delta Airlines flight recently held a Delta-themed wedding where they wore Delta uniforms and ate with Delta dinnerware. Asked what's next, the Delta groom said, honeymooning in the Mile High Club. For all of us here on Triad Today, I'm Jim Longworth. We'll see you next time.